Good morning, everyone. My name is Alexandria Adams. I'm a reporter for News 4 Nashville and a local to Franklin, Tennessee. I'm so honored to be your mistress of ceremonies for Hash Browns for Hope for the third year in a row. We're doing things virtually here on Facebook and Instagram. Make sure that you share this with your friends and family. There's an online auction going on right now, so don't miss out. You've got until noon today to make your bids. This will help women and their families going through tough times. That's what the Hope Station is all about. This morning, you will hear from the executive director, working moms who know firsthand how important this organization is, and our keynote speaker, Vicki Yates, a veteran journalist and a single mom herself. But let's kick things off with a word of prayer with head pastor of All Souls Church of Nashville, Reverend Kirk Atkinson.
Hello, friends of Hope Station. My name's Kirk Atkinson. I'm the pastor of All Souls Church of Nashville. And we are supporters of Hope Station, and we love the mission. We want you to support Hope Station today, and I think one of the best ways for us to enter into this time together is in prayer. So let me offer a prayer for us. Father in heaven, we come before you now, thanking you for life and breath and provision. We praise you for loving us. Father, you have placed your imprint on us. You have made every single person in your image and likeness. You have given us value. You call us to love you and one another as we love ourselves. You have moved in the hearts of many, like Quintina and her vision for Hope Station, to serve single moms and children, people of great value to you. Oh Lord, we give you thanks for Quintina and Hope Station, who are carrying out your vision for caring for people, to not allow single moms and their children to walk alone or be forgotten. We ask that you bless this day. We ask that you move in our hearts and give us the same love you have for these moms and children. I ask that you give each of us generous hearts and to give out of our abundance. Why? Because you have been generous to us. We offer up this time, this event to you as an act of worship and praise. Let us support this amazing ministry with joyful and cheerful hearts. May you receive glory and honor in all that is done today and for years to come through the generous support of donors and the tireless work of Hope Station. May your name be praised. I pray all of this in the beautiful, loving name of Jesus. Amen.
Thank you, Pastor. Now let's meet the extraordinary woman at the center of the story, founder and executive director of the Hope Station, Quintina Waller, followed by two women who will share their stories on how Hope Station impacted their lives, Elena Hatchett and Demetria Threets.
My name is Quintina Waller, and I'm the founder and executive director of Hope Station. Hope Station is a nonprofit organization that assists single working mothers in Rutherford County and Davidson County. Eligible single mothers can apply for assistance once every 12 months. I started Hope Station in 2014 for single mothers. When my youngest son was born, I was on maternity leave. I had taken the 6 weeks, and I needed to take an additional 2 weeks because this daycare wasn't available. I wasn't paid for those 2 weeks, and all the money that I had was used for household expenses. I needed milk for my son. I went to the WIC office here in Rutherford County. They said I made too much money. When I left the office, I was overwhelmed. I was feeling depressed. I was feeling worthless as a mom. I told my daughter I was going home to just take a rest. But my true intent was to take my life in hopes that my mother could take care of my children and everything will be fine for them. Immediately, God spoke to my spirit and said, you start something. You offer the women something that was not offered to you. We serve working women because those are the women that fall in the gap. There's organizations that help single mothers, but they don't help single mothers if you over a certain income. So if you make over $33,000, you don't qualify for any of these services. So Hope Station is one of the few organizations that assist single mothers that make over $33,000. We chose that because we all fall short. It doesn't matter, if you make $33,000 or $2,000 or whatever the magic number is, you may fall short. And at $33,000, there's no help for you. There was no help for you. And now there's Hope Station to offer you assistance with rent and utility. The women that Hope Station assists are women, hardworking women. But if something happens, a life event happens, the car breaks down, the kid gets sick, an unexpected light bill that's over the amount they're normally paying, used to paying. Those are the expenses we help out with. On a normal basis, they can make it. But if life happens, they don't have nowhere to turn but to Hope Station.
Hello everyone. I just wanted to give a quick thanks to Hope Station and just expressing my gratitude for my family and myself. We appreciate your help. We appreciate your assistance in a time of need. I would also like to express the fact that I'm even more thankful because there are not a lot of resources or any that I know of that are available to assist people who are working mothers like myself that may be over the income limits for everything or any type of assistance that you may need. But, we need help just as much as anybody else in that time of need. We all suffer trials and tribulations and things that may come our way that are unexpected. And Hope Station was a godsend and definitely heaven sent for me and my family in our time of need. And we just want to say thank you. And I'm willing to, spread the word and let everyone out here know what type of resource that you are and that you are there available, for help. And like I said, I appreciate you and thank you so much.
So I'm a single mom. I have two beautiful children, Kennedy and Dion. Kennedy's 13 and Dion's 11. I was working, or I still work in logistics and transportation, and I've been doing that now for about 4 years. Sometimes perception is not always reality. I do the best I can as a single mother to be a good steward over my finances, but you have sometimes unforeseen circumstances. Life comes at you fast. No one plans to go into debt. No one plans to become ill and not be able to work, but these sort of things happen in life, and when they do, you just are at the mercy of those situations sometimes. Back in 2019, November of 2019, I had just came across a hard time. I had become ill and I was unable to work for a little while, and so I had become concerned about how I was going to make ends meet while I was off work. My first concern is always making sure that we have shelter and we have stability, and you need finances to do that. And sometimes when you fall on hard times, it could cause a panic. And at that time, I didn't know where to go. I didn't even know that there was an organization like Hope Station available to me because the door's been closed in my face so many times. I wasn't offered state assistance due to the fact that I made over the income limit. So I was very discouraged, honestly. And I reached out to 611 and was given a lot of numbers to a lot of different organizations. Hope Station was one of those organizations. So I reached out to several places trying to get assistance, and I was getting nowhere. It was just, I guess, God that said, go ahead and make this final attempt and try this. And as a final resort, I reached out to Hope Station and I spoke with Miss Tina, and instantly over the phone, I could feel her energy. I could feel her concern, and I automatically felt comfortable enough with her to become vulnerable about my financial situation. I think you should definitely support an organization like Hope Station. One, because the work that she's doing is beneficial, is helpful to people such as myself, and the monies that are put into Hope Station definitely go to a good cause. Not only did they help me financially, but she also offered me the empathy that I needed as a human being. I'll forever be grateful for Hope Station, Miss Tina, and the help that they offered me in my time of need.
Spirit of living God, Spirit of living God, we only wanna hear your voice. We're hanging on every word. Spirit of the living God, Spirit of the living God, we wanna know you more and more. We're hanging on every word. Spirit of the living God, Spirit of the living God, we're leaning into all you are. Everything else can wait. Spirit of the living God, Spirit of the living God, come now and breathe upon our hearts. Come now and have your way. 'Cause when you speak and when you move and when you do what only you can do, it changes us, it changes what we see. And what we see when you come in the room, when you do what only you can do, it changes us, it changes what we see. And what we see, you're changing everything, God, yeah. Spirit of the living God, Spirit of the living God, come now and breathe upon our hearts.
Hi everyone, it's Rory Johnston at News Channel 5. Thank you, Hope Station, for asking me to do this introduction, and thank you for the work that you are doing to lift up and help and empower women and families in our community. It means so much, and I wish you the best of luck. So how do I introduce your speaker today? Well, she has been my co-anchor and my friend for the last 15 years here at News Channel 5. She actually just celebrated 30 years here. She is a part of our community, a beloved face, a trusted person, and I'll tell you, the person you see on the anchor desk is the same lovely, elegant, classy Vicki Yates that you will meet in person. She came here 30 years ago, a single mom of 3, raised those 3 beautiful children. They are amazing young adults now and also my friends. So she knows what it's like to struggle, and she knows what it's like to make it and succeed. So I'm so glad that she's speaking today, and it is my honor to introduce Vicki Yates.
Hi everybody, I'm Vicki Yates, and I want to thank Quintina for inviting me to be here with you. I'm so excited. A lot of people don't know my story, but a lot of people do, so I'll tell you a little bit about myself. As some of you know, I've been a news anchor and a reporter at News Channel 5 for the past 30 years, working in the communications field for the past 40 years. I started in college. I love what I do. I really do. I've met some wonderful people, President Obama. I've met a lot of great people, a lot of just everyday people too. But my most important job, my most important mission in life is being a mom. I am a single mom, and I've been a single mom for the past 31 years. Born and raised in Detroit, 2 years after graduating from Michigan State University, I met a wonderful man. He was handsome, he was funny, he drove a great car, he had great family members, and eventually we got married. I got a job in TV news shortly after that took me to Toledo, Ohio. Now, since it was about an hour and a half away from Detroit, I would commute back and forth every day, 5 days a week. Then I received a call from a television station in Cincinnati, Ohio, and they offered me a job there as a reporter and anchor of a midday newscast. I was there for about 3 years. Then I got a call from a larger television station, KDKA in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. I was on my way there soon, also as a reporter and an anchor of a weekend newscast. Now, my husband followed me to Pittsburgh and got a job as a salesman at the same station where I worked. I was at KDKA for about 5 years. Now, during this time, during our 9th year of marriage, we had been married 9 years by this time, I became pregnant. I gave birth to a beautiful baby girl. Her name is Tori. Some of you may know her. I'm sure some of you have heard of her. We have a podcast together. My husband and I were blessed to have such a beautiful, healthy, wonderful daughter. But that was 9th year. 10th year, things took a bit of a turn. Certain things changed. My father passed away. And I found out I was pregnant again, and this time I was expecting twins, 2 boys. But there's still a little bit more to this story. My mother had become seriously ill and soon subsequently passed, less than a year after my father had. But what really sent me spinning was my wonderful, good-looking, fun husband decided to take a girlfriend. Yep, he cheated on me. They say wives are the last to know, and for a while, truthfully, I didn't pick up on the clues. I was so occupied with not only a troubled pregnancy, but also mourning the death of my mother. But once I came out of that, I started noticing the changes. He couldn't watch our daughter while it was at work because, well, he had things to do, even though he had a flexible job. He started buying and wearing silk underwear. Yeah, that's pretty stereotypical. And now this was before cell phones were so popular. He had a second phone line installed in our basement and told me, don't ever answer that phone because those are my sales clients and they don't expect to hear you on the other line. Okay. Well, of course, I knew this was BS. And after doing some real creative snooping, I confronted him with evidence that he could not dispute. God is good because I started going into early labor, and why that was good is because it took me out of the house. It brought me to the hospital for a whole month. I was on bed rest for a month. I had just a relaxing time, and God knew that's what I needed. The only thing I didn't need, though, was when he would bring my daughter in to see me, and he was looking like he stepped off the cover of GQ, and she was looking like she stepped off the cover of Ragamuffin. Her clothes were dirty, her hair wasn't combed, but I knew he was doing this to pay me back because he knew I was leaving. To make a long story short, though, I gave birth to my 2 healthy sons, Alex and Max, one who had to stay in the hospital, Max, because he needed to gain weight. But before I left the hospital, I made a few calls. And when it was time for me and my sons and my daughter to leave, we did, moving into an apartment. Soon, though, I got the call to come to Nashville, and me and the kids headed south. Now, as a single mom, I've learned several things that I'd like to share with you. Not every single mom is on her own. Some fortunate ones even have a co-parent, maybe your child's father or one of your relatives who's made the commitment to help you raise your kids. And if you do, that's fantastic. Go for it. As a single mom, it's a plus, but also a big responsibility to make all of the decisions for your family. What if you make the wrong call? Well, sometimes you will. But ultimately, you are the one who shapes and molds your family. My kids, who are all adults now, like to say that our family was a gang of 4. And one of the reasons why gangs work is because the members feel cared for and supported. And that brings me to trust your instincts. It comes with being a mother. We all know when our kids need something, even when they don't tell us. Maybe it's a problem they need to work through. But let them know that you're interested in helping them solve those problems without judging or punishing them. If they can't turn to you, they'll turn to someone outside of your family. Don't be afraid to ask for help. I remember before we moved to Nashville, a good friend of mine called me one morning and she said, "Hey, I want to stop by." Okay, now, I'm the mother of 2 newborns. I've got a 2-year-old daughter running around. I'm in a small apartment. My house looks like, you know what? But I said, "Sure, come on by." 20 minutes later, she and her teenage daughter pull up, come to the door, and when I open it, she told me, "We're here to take the kids for the day. We'll put the infant seats in our car and entertain them, and you just do whatever you want. We'll bring them back before it gets dark." I was stunned. I was stunned and overwhelmed, and I cried. But she knew I was overwhelmed, and I didn't have any help. And since I trusted her like family, I let her do it. I thanked her profusely. But this is what I'm telling you. If you need help, ask for it. I didn't ask for it. She knew. But not everybody understands that. If you know you need help, there's no shame in asking for it. Give your kids a person to look up to. It doesn't matter what your career is. We all struggle one way or another. Your children should know that you have expectations for them. I think we all want our kids to do better than what we've done. And this is very important, by all means, have fun with your kids. When my 3 were little, every Friday after I got off work, we would have what we call pajama picnic night. I would stop at McDonald's and get 3 Happy Meals. And when I got home, they'd already have their pajamas on, and I would spread a blanket on the floor in front of the TV, and we would watch Full House and Family Matters on the floor together. So other than the Happy Meals, it didn't cost anything. But if you can't afford that, or if that's a problem, that's not a problem. All you have to do is say, "Hey, let's make some cookies or popcorn or pizza." It's just about being together. I have just a few more suggestions. Don't forget, this is so important, to have me time. You have to take care of yourself before you can really be a supportive parent. It's not about ignoring your children, but let's face it, as the saying goes, if mama ain't happy, ain't nobody happy. So maybe that means getting up an hour earlier than everybody else just to center yourself or meditate. I'm a big fan of meditation. I even have that Calm app on my phone. And by the way, it's free. Or again, maybe ask a friend or a relative to watch your kids while you get your hair or your nails done. Do something that's just for you. Let's touch on this. Dating as a single mom. Yikes, yeah. To be honest, I didn't date for years because, for one, I didn't want a man telling me what to do with my kids, how to raise them. That was not going to happen. And although their dad still lived in Pittsburgh, he was still their dad. I decided to date once my kids were old enough to understand that I was dating, in case they had any questions. But if you're interested in having a relationship, hey, go for it. But be careful, and whatever you do, don't let your love interest make decisions for your kids. The kids will more than likely resent it, and if he or she, no judgment, wants to play the role of parent, make sure you know what their true intentions are. Also, recognize that you have got to vet your children's friends. Now, if you notice that some of them encourage your children to do things that you know could lead to trouble, it's up to you to check them. You're constantly going to know what's going on with your kids. You have to, and who they're doing it with. If it's at all possible, and this was really hard, but it's true, try not to talk badly about their dad. As the saying goes, resentment is like taking poison and waiting for the other person to die. To be honest, I know that I've said some things I shouldn't have said to my children about their dad. But I'm very aware of it now, and since they're all adults, one of my sons even has a wife and daughter of his own, I know they're more than capable of determining who their father is without my commentary. By the way, their dad and I get along these days. So if you can, allow your child to discover who their father really is. If they have questions, encourage them to ask you about it, but keep your spin off of it if you can. Now, I'll just wrap it up by saying the best thing you can do as a single mother is let your kids know how much you love them. That you may not be perfect, but that you're there for them through the tough times and the fun times, and that no matter what happens, you've got their back. Do that, and as the years go by, they'll have your back. As one of my favorite songs, Dear Mama by Tupac says, you are appreciated. Thank you so much for having me here. If I were there, I'd be able to answer questions, and I can't since I'm not. But if you have any questions you'd like to ask me, please contact me through my Facebook page at Vicki Yates NC5. Thanks so much, and I hope to see you soon.
2020, wow. It seems like 2020 has dealt each of us a bad hand. Nashville in particular has been hit hard. On March 3rd, we were devastated by a tornado that ripped through the city, hitting some of our most underserved areas hard. Some moms who were already struggling to make ends meet were left to literally pick up the pieces after the storm. Many had to relocate their homes, their jobs, and in some cases both. In a place where affordable housing is already hard to find because of the high demand in the IT city, now moms were left to figure out their next steps. Not only 2 weeks later, we were struck with the pandemic that turned not only Nashville, but the world upside down. The women that were hit by the tornado were now dealing with more uncertainties of life. They were out of work, the children were out of school, and there was nowhere to turn. No money meant there was no food to feed the children, who were now home 24 hours a day. It meant struggling to pay rent and no way to express their frustrations with the state of the world. Churches were closed and family and friends were off limits at this point, and it was only March. The stress levels were through the roof for most of the world at this point. With the entire family home all day, every cost related to the household increased while income decreased. While some landlords were understanding and our local energy company waived late fees and halted disconnections, the household costs were still mounting. This was enough to drive the average person insane. These are some of the reasons we're looking to offer mental health and financial empowerment resources to single mothers. Hope Station wants to amplify our impact by making our clients whole again, empowering them to know that they can be strong and not have to deal with life alone. It's okay to get your thoughts out. We want to be the avenue for that outlet. To add fuel to the already ignited fire, just when we thought we could breathe a little, in May, we were faced with protests due to racial unrest in our communities. The first half of 2020 had done a number on us, but we know that God is in control of all situations, no matter how bad things seem. As an organization, we provide housing and utility assistance to single working mothers, relieving the stress of having to choose between the crisis at hand and providing a roof over your family's head. As a single mom myself, I am not removed from the same issues our clients are faced with, but I am glad that we can offer hope. We want our clients to know, we want you to know that there is still hope. We have not pressed pause on our purpose. We have not halted hope. We are still here to give. We want to offer more. The question you may have is, how can I help? Hope Station needs you more than ever to partner with us, to be a support to mothers like Demetria and Lena, who already give all they have to their children and their careers. We need you to give from your heart and to allow God to minister to your spirit. Currently, Hope Station offers up to $350 a year in assistance for single moms, and that's just the beginning. Due to the increased cost of living in Nashville and dealing with the tornado and the pandemic, we know we need to be in a position to do more. We want to increase assistance to $500 a year with a long-term goal of $1,000 a year. But in order to do that, we need you to give today. There are ways that you can donate listed on the screen. Will you consider joining our friends like Cheryl and Jackie who give monthly? You can also visit our website at www.hopestationtn.org. You may want to ask your employer about a match program or specifically giving to Hope Station through your United Way campaign. And lastly, don't forget our Hash Browns for Hope online auction event. With the auction closing at 12 noon, you have about an hour to bid on great items for a great cause. Thank you so much for joining us today. Please be sure to share this event with others who may also be able to give to Hope Station. At Hope Station, we know that we are so much better together. Thank you so much. We hope to hear from you soon.
Thank you again for joining us for our virtual Hash Browns for Hope. Please make sure you share this on your social media pages to help spread the word about this wonderful organization. And make sure to get those last-minute bids in because the auction does close at noon. As always, you can visit hopestationtn.org to learn more. And lastly, mark your calendars for July 10th, 2021 for Hope Station's 5th year celebration. Thank you again for joining us, and let's continue together to celebrate the power of hope. God bless.